Hello everyone, Chaz and Omaha here. The countdown timer is quickly running out on EQ Legends launch. Hooray! With that in mind, today I'll be going over my potentially unhinged 21-step plan for EQ Legends launch. I wrote up this unreasonably specific plan for myself so that during launch, I can just enjoy the ride, hanging with you all in stream. This way, I can not worry about forgetting something important that I want to do. Step 1. Unlock Ogre Paladin with the Race Unlock trick. First, we start as Beast and Mage for a level 1 Beast pet. We summon some Mage Daggers. We load and fix our UI, hopefully that doesn't take very long. And then we quickly do the tutorial for our 3 pairs of boots. Once we're spawned into Lguk, we run to the chef, which is right next to the bank, load up on Froglok legs, put bags full of legs in the bank because they are very heavy. We're then going to switch to Rogue, make a sneak/unsneak macro, and bind it to a movement key so that we can train sneak as we hoof it over to New Sebelis. Then we're going to hoof it over to New Sebelis, bind outside, and then run to Neriak. We're going to turn in frog legs in the foreign quarter, buy a bunch of bags, origin, and then load up on frog legs again. We're going to do all this nonsense at the beginning because I'm assuming we still won't have any instance charges at the very beginning. And if that's true, there's going to be a whole lot of people competing against not very many mobs, basically everywhere you go, and I don't really want to deal with that. Once you've loaded up on frog legs again, I'm going to commit suicide on the guards, run back to Neriak, and turn in more frog legs. Then commit suicide on the guards again, and then kill maybe a few easy mobs to get a bit of evocation skill. By then, I should have an instance ready, so I can make an Eastern Common instance, and then I can get some giant snake fangs and level a bit. Then I'll head to Befallen till level 10. After I hit level 10, I'm going to commit suicide again, then switch to Rogue, buy Human Illusion, switch to Shaman, Bard, Enchanter for max Charisma combo, unlock Half Elf, become Paladin, Enchanter, Wizard as Nathaniel Marr, and then ding 11 in Befallen. Then I suicide to bind again and switch to Ogre. Hooray, step 1 done. Step 2. Befallen as Paladin, Enchanter, Wizard until 23 for ports. I do Wizard first because Wizard nukes hard carry you when you are wearing garbage like Giant Snake Fangs and Cloth Armor. As soon as I hit level 23, we go to step 3, which is Black Burrow, just to get the Shrink Shoulder Clicky. I will do this immediately after leveling Wizard to 23, so I can stop needing to duck through doorways in Befallen. I simply made a personal instance on D2 last time, ran straight to him invis, killed him, looted it, and left immediately. Step 4, Befallen as Paladin Monk Druid, Paladin Wizard Druid, or Paladin Enchanter Druid till 25 for ports. I'm not really sure which combo to use, because there's merits to any of those combos. I think we'll just have to make that decision when we get to it. This is slower than Wizard, and could be reasonably skipped, but you do lose out on Lava Storm, Misty Thicket, and Surefall ports, all of which are quite helpful. Make sure you start training Feign Death ASAP on Monk with an auto-stand attack macro during combat. Also, you might want to train Track with Movement Key Bind while leveling your Druid. Step 5. Befallen finally as Paladin Monk Enchanter till around 24 to 26. There's a bunch of items that you should be getting on your way out of here, and I will list them off very quickly. The boots from Skeleman Orad in the first room, the one-handed mace from the level 16 Dark Elf Lady, the two-hander and gloves from the knight at the bottom of the stairway, the named ghoul with the wrists. The wrists are kind of important. Take care to not auto-merge these right away, as you will likely want to wear 2 of them. This is particularly important because these wrists are pretty hard to replace. Note, auto-merge will always merge into the leftmost wrist slot on your inventory screen, so you can adjust which gets merged into by just simply swapping them. You want to get the Pillage Enchantment Wand from the DE Wiz Lady just before Knight Rogue Baron area. Then you want to get the better two-handed sword from the Knight at level 24. Then there's the Corvin Dagger with a 40 damage DD proc. It needs +4 to allow the removal proc, although that might not really matter at this point. It is also an excellent pet / low-level trio proc, as the level requirement is very low. You want to get the legs and arms from the Knight right next to the Baron, and then you want to get the one-handed sword and chest piece from the Baron. Step 6. This is the first optional step, and this is Najena. I'm going to grab the Tenderizer Haste Belt, who's level 25, the J-Boots from Drelsna because my trio is kind of slow naturally, and the earring with intelligence on it from the Fire Elemental. J-Boots are somewhat annoying as you have to do almost the full key progression of the zone. If you don't know how the key progression works, I would suggest looking on the EQL or P99 wiki. They should both be quite accurate for directions on this. The area with the final key to open Drelsna's room is pretty easy to train yourself on, so be careful there. If you stay here for a while, it might be worth using the fist weapon that also drops from the fire elemental, rather than the Baron's Blade or the enchanted two-handed sword you're currently using. Step 7, Runnyeye. This is also an optional step. First we have the Sporali's Defender Blade. For me and or my pet, it's a 1737 one-handed slashing at D0, so it is quite good. Then there's also the Black and Alloy Medallion and the Black and Alloy Bastard Sword, from various names like Pit Claw Destroyers, Slay Spells, and the named at the bottom of the zone. The Black and Alloy Bastard Sword is a 2439 two-handed slashing at D0, so it is very powerful if you manage to get one. Grinding here, even at D2, is basically a dumpster fire. What I would suggest doing is checking open world D3, D4 for named and destroyers while invis, sniping them, and then feign deathing or leaving. Or you can burn a single instance charge on a D3 or 4 to hope you get the drops that you want. Or you can also just do this on D0/1 and use motes to level them up. Personally, I plan on doing Runnyeye, not so much because of the good two-hander, but because the Black Alloy Medallion mana pres effect is very powerful. Step 8. Lguk entrance, 26 to 30-ish. You just go through the entrance to the bedroom, kill some of the skeletons, maybe kill some of the spiders, and that's about it. There's really not any items to get here. It's just a good place to level because you're a paladin and slay undead rocks. Then step 9, Lguk part 2. About 30 to 34. You do the assassin, supplier, tower areas. You could get a thick banded belt here, and you could also get a dark elf mask while you're here. Next, step 10, Splitpaw. This is another optional step. How valuable this step is depends a lot on how good your current weapon set is. If our weapons aren't great, because we had poor luck on Corvin Dagger or Black and Alloy Bastard Sword, we can take a quick trip over. A Teshval Brute drops both the Brutish Breastplate and Tornir Thumper. The Brutish Breastplate is arguably compelling enough on its own to come here, as it won't be replaced until you get planar or better. The Tornir Thumper is a 1530 two-handed blunt at D0 with a stun proc, making it only slightly worse ratio than the Black and Alloy Bastard Sword. He's level 37, which should be quite easy to farm at level 34. Step 11, Ivandyr's Hoop. Doing this on the way back from Splitpaw is very convenient, as the turn-in is in Inithil Swamp. This is optional, but I'm definitely doing this, as I'll end up wearing this till level 60 probably. I'll swap Druid into my loadout for track. Some people may need to go Illusion Troll here depending on your race. You buy a bunch of rubies, the more the better. Then find Lanuga by swapping to various difficulties and running through the center of the zone, watching your track and map. Step 12. Lguk Frenzy Area, 34 to 38. First off here, we want to get the Moonstone Ring, and we can also get an FBSS. We really want the Moonstone Ring here, so that it makes the B Island much easier later on, as you need extended range for the easiest strategy that I found. The FBSS barely matters, as we will get a Mithril two-handed very shortly after. Step 13, the Lord Area, from 38 to 42, and maybe to 44. You can get the SSB Helm and a Yak for a proc. Finally, we have Step 14, the Froglok King at 42, until you get a Mithril two-hander, and then I would go back to the Lord Area. You want to get the Mithril two-hander for your any slot, so that you can have a 31% haste until you get a Cloak of Fames or Rune Bolster Belt. Step 15, the whole 44 to whenever we get the thing we want. The thing that we want here is from the Ratman, Slizzik the Mighty. He's level 54 and is in the jail cells just past the entrance drop-off. He drops the Idol of the Underking, which gives you improved healing 3 focus. It is very powerful and you definitely want this item. You could move areas or leave here for SolB once the focus is acquired to level faster to 46. This area would likely be quite dangerous without Pacify, Mez, or Slow, so your mileage may vary. You also might see a few Smoldering Brands drop from the rats here, which is a 922 one-handed blunt at D0 with an insignificant proc. If you get a few of them, it will likely replace your current weapons. Step 16. Yale and Nagafin, D0/1 at level 46, and maybe Interrupt D0. You do some of the easier raids for Serpent's Tooth, Cloak of Flames, Rune Bolster Belt, or some of the crazy drops from Interrupt. This will likely make leveling from 46 to 50 much faster, but it'll also be kind of a fun break from grinding. Step 17. SolB from whatever I'm at till 50. This is the Afridi camp for a Diarn's Amethyst Ring. The Diarn's Amethyst Ring gives you a Spell Haste 2 focus effect. I choose the level here because I want to have the Spell Haste 2 focus effect for raiding and for future trios. If you choose to level in the hole, it might be faster. If you choose to level in Plane of Hate or Fear, you will probably get some planar drops while leveling. Step 18. Medium difficulty raids. We will start our level 50 progress doing some fairly easy bosses for quick gearing purposes. We'll do Yale D2 through 4. We'll do Nagafen D2 or 3, although we might skip this entirely if we already have a Cloak of Flames from earlier Nagafen. We'll do Inaruk D1 or 2. This is huge value since his drops are absolutely nuts. And then we'll probably do Fear D0 through 1. I do this lower level because this place is a bit more annoying than the others. Step 19. Farm PoSky for Giga Weapons and Haste Belts. We do PoSky D0, maybe 1 if it's not too hard, that way we get bonus loot. And then we'll repeat D0 for targeted items, particularly Aldrin, Wu's Fist, and the Paladin or Monk Haste Belts. Do note, PoSky has no raid lockout. Doing it over and over is only limited by your instance charge timer. Step 20. Push some D4 bosses. Now that we've got some good gear on our character, probably, we can try getting D4 kills. We'll do Nagafen, Hate, and Fear. I may or may not do Vox because she's very low priority for me. She drops basically nothing I care about getting at a +4 or higher level. Finally, Step 21. Start leveling Warrior, Necro, or Shaman one at a time so I can try playing that comp next. And that's my plan for LQ Legends launch. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Please post any questions you may have in the comments down below. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time.